Hey guys, and welcome back to Mainville ATV and Outdoors, where we do all things all-terrain. Today we are going to do another episode of Off-Road Innovators. If you don't know what that is, before I got crazy busy out in Sask, we started a series on this YouTube channel where we focus on a particular product or thing and talk about why it's kind of changing the game. So in today's episode, we have Bullite rims. You're going to see us talk about rims in general and how they work to educate people on what they have on their machines. We're going to talk about what Bullite here is doing differently, and we also have some really cool footage with Tony and Peter from the Bullite team, so stay tuned. Okay, so the first part of this video is going to be breaking down the absolute basics of off-road rims, because not everybody's an expert, and I think we should start there. If you already know that kind of stuff and just want to get into the Bullite wheels, then you can use this time code right here, or look down below and click away to whatever you want to skip to. So we're going to start with this and break it down for you, so let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up this box here, get a rim out. These are the Berserkers. I already had the Riders from Bullite, and I loved them so much that I wanted more, so we worked out a deal. They did send these for free for full transparency, so you can determine what that means to you. Everything's really well packaged. Obviously they don't want any shipping problems. Hey, lay some of this down. There you have it. There's a rim. Okay, absolute basics of what this is. So you're going to hear two words. You're going to hear rim and you're going to hear wheel. Socially, there's nothing really wrong with either of these, but what you're looking at is a wheel incomplete. What a rim actually is this surface here, this lip. Normally on a wheel, a standard wheel, you'd have two of these, one on either side, and that's where your tire actually seats. And we're going to get to how that works in a moment. This particular wheel has a bead lock on the outside, and we'll also get to that in a second. In the center, you have a barrel. This can be multiple widths depending on what you need. Think about the difference between an ATV and like a pro drag car or something like that. So you can have this in many different widths. Then you have the hub in the center. You have the holes for your studs and the spokes. Your wheel can change, obviously, depending on your manufacturer's requirements. So for Can-Am, I think it's 4 by 137, which is the measurement between these stud holes and how many of them there are. So you're going to have different ones for different brands like Polaris and whatever. The next thing you have is offset. And offset is determined by the space between this side to this surface and the difference on the other side. So what I mean by that is, for this particular rim, it's a 5+2. There's different ways of measuring this, but it's 5 inches on this side, 2 inches on this side. So it's where this entire surface is in reference to the barrel. Now, when we're looking at a bead lock, this is important because what happens here is you now have a mechanical clamping force that's going to clamp down on your tire instead of seating it against this rim. It's called seating the bead. On this side, you have a tire that sits against here, and on the tire rubber you can actually see where this surface meets the tire surface. The cavity in here, when you fill it with air, is what pressurizes that tire against this rim on either side. So the bead lock, when you put that rubber down on this side, you can actually see where it rests on this particular wheel. You can take this outer ring and you actually sandwich it, the material of the tire, between the two, so that mechanically locks it. The reason why you would do that is if you're going mock silly down a trail and you hit the ruts, this outer side of the wheel could hit that wall and try to push this tire rubber inwards, allowing a bunch of air out. But if it's mechanically clamped, it's going to hold it for good unless you really smoke this thing. If you had a standard wheel in that same exact scenario, you're susceptible to that tire rubber being pushed in and either causing a leak, letting something in like a stick or something, causing a longer leak, or completely debeading the entire tire. And obviously that's an issue. So these are some of the things that are good to know and understand how they work before getting out on the trail, and why I keep a tire kit and a few things like that. The last component that's kind of relevant to all of this is the valve stem. So down here you're going to see, obviously you need a way to put air into this tire, and you have a valve stem. So inside's a little straighter valve, and when you actually put air in, it pushes that valve in, allowing air in. But when you let go and stop putting air in, it actually seats outwards so the air can't escape. On the inside of the wheel, you have this rubber seal here. You actually insert this from this side and you draw it through with a tool that holds onto the threads, and that can seat in there. The alternative to this, and in some scenarios, you actually have a tube in here. And it's the exact same thing, but you're filling the tube, not the actual cavity of the tire. And that's for scenarios where like you might have a damaged tire carcass or something like that, and then you can basically just fill this tube that's inside the tire, and the tube's protected by the tire essentially. So those are all the components that are kind of necessary to understand the absolute basics of a wheel. You can have combinations where you have a bead-lock on either side, and then you can get into really crazy stuff called crush locks, where you basically have two rings like this and you crush the rubber together and you don't put any air in them. You can get into all sorts of specialty stuff, but I'll leave that for another day. All right, so now we're going to get into what makes Bullite different. And a lot of it comes down to smart manufacturing and material choices. That's essentially, if you had to boil it down, what Bullite is doing here. We're going to grab each component and talk about them individually. So first up, you have a forged aluminum beadlock ring. A lot of the competitors that are out there will use a cast, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that in the grand scheme of producing these wheels. But Bullite being Bullite, they want to take it to the next step. The difference between that cast that the competitors are doing on a standard beadlock wheel and the forged aluminum that they're doing, if you take both of them and put them in a vise and try to bend them, one will eventually crack and break, and then the other will just bend. The reason why that's important is if you're out on the trail and you do crash into something and it threatens the life of your tire, if this bends, you have a significantly greater choice of holding air to get off the trail. And I think that's why this is a very smart choice. Next up, you have a low temp cast disc. That's what Bullite is calling it. Essentially, this entire face is its own component. I know what you're seeing is it's welded onto the barrel, but we're going to get into that in a moment. What this allows them to do is come up with many designs and then add it to the barrel later, giving you guys more choice and obviously allowing them to do different bolt patterns and all sorts of different stuff. So it's nice that this is a separate component, and that's where the smart manufacturing comes in, because they can make the same barrel in this size, mass produce that barrel, and then add on whatever front disc they want to do. And that's why they have so many different ones. So I have 05 Riders over there. This is the 06 Berserker. They have several sizes and different faces and designs available. And that's what this manufacturing process allows them to do. The thing that's very unique about this particular beadlock is you're going to see these holes, and that's where you actually bolt your beadlock in. What they've done here is they didn't just thread the aluminum like some of the competitors will. They inserted a helicoil. If you don't know what a helicoil is, it's basically like inserting threads. So you prep the hole and then you have a whole other thing that goes in there that you can bolt into. The big perk to helicoils is they're significantly stronger than the material that they're put into. It's one of the things that I learned many, many years ago as an apprentice mechanic. So like, let's say the threads are screwed up on a spark plug hole. You can put a helicoil in there and basically put a new plug. They are actually very, very strong, and they're embedded into this disc. So that's one of the things that they're doing differently that I think is very interesting. The next component that we're going to be talking about is the barrel and rim on this end. So this is actually a separate component in the manufacturing process. This is made out of one piece, and it's actually roll formed. They claim that it's about 3 times stronger than a cast alternative, and I believe it. And again, it's more pliable when it does get damaged, giving you that chance of actually holding on to some air to get off the trail in a bad scenario. The next thing is they actually roll formed the edge here, and this actually provides a lot more structure to that sealing surface on the back side. Now you're going to notice I said at the beginning of this, there's 3 pieces. You have that beadlock, you have the disc, and you have the barrel. Well, these 2 pieces are actually friction stir welded together. There's lots of kinds of welding in the world, and there's even a couple different versions of friction welding. Friction stir welding is literally I don't know what the actual tool's called, but it stirs the 2 materials together, and it's almost like a cold friction weld. A traditional friction weld is when you spin 2 components together where they heat up so hot and then you rapidly let them cool and they become one. And a lot of welding, especially when done right, I should probably say all welding when done correctly, is stronger than the material that it's actually putting together. So that's what's going on here. You have a very strong weld holding this front disc to the back barrel and rim. So altogether, what you have here, so when you combine all of these things together, all of the design choices that they made, the material choices, the process and manufacturing, this is what you're investing into. So if you're extreme out there on the trail, you want a light tire that's strong, give you your best odds to get off the trail in a worst case scenario. I mean, this is it. And this is why I wanted to highlight and why this is on Off-Road Innovators. And so what we're gonna do now is actually move forward to a chat that I had with Tony and Peter from the team at Bullite. And they're going to touch on some of the details that we talked about here. Hey guys, what's going on? How you been?
Hey Kyle, what's going on, man?
Put him on the main screen.
Oh, yeah. Let me put you on speaker real quick. I'm here with Tony. Give me 1 second.
No worries, yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Kyle?
What's up, man?
Yeah, you guys are hard to get a hold of. I mean, you guys have been busy. I think it's American Thanksgiving. You guys have had SEMA. What's going on with you guys?
Our Thanksgiving was great. We had a great feast, hung out with the family. How was yours? I know yours was back in October.
Yeah, it was great. We had a bit of a Friendsgiving, a little bit of everybody, and it was awesome. Yeah, it was good.
That's good to hear, man. It's always good to spend time with family, for sure.
Yeah, I think the last time we hung out was back in September, about the tail end of summer, right? I think it was summer. We're at Minden Off-Road Park, got a chance to meet all the crew, met everybody out there, had a great time. It was a good 2 to 3 days of riding, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely shout out all the guys that, made the trip out there to come see us, to come ride with us. Definitely was very memorable. Got to do it again for sure.
Yeah, Minden is just one of those places I've heard about for so long, and finally had a chance to go down there. And it was great to meet you guys and hook up with a bunch of other YouTubers and stuff. You guys have quite a few ambassadors.
SEMA. SEMA was amazing. We had a great time this year. We were placed outside right next to the burnout pit. We invited a lot of the crews to come down. We had, Snowman, Snow Girl. We had Julian, Valley Crew.
Calculated Risk.
Calculated Risk and the ECC Racing as well too. They brought their vehicles out. Zach, Kyle, and Pat, and then Jax as well too. So yeah, it was a great time. We had just really hung out with everybody for a whole good week and everything. So
yeah, and for those of you guys that were watching online, we want to invite you guys to come join us next year. Hit us up if you guys are at the SEMA show. Come hang out with us at the booth. We always have a good time.
Don't forget the rims that we showcase. So we had some truck rims that's going to be releasing next year, 17 to 18s. They're going to be full forged. We're going to have them in B-lock and non-B-lock.
Exciting stuff. So now you got rims on your truck to match your side-by-side or ATV.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are all over the place. I don't know how you manage it. I mean, truck wheels, I'm interested, but if I got some before I got my wife a kitchen island, I think she'd murder me. Anyway, listen, I got a few questions for you. Why don't we start with introducing yourself?
So a little bit about ourselves and what we do here at Bullite. You want to start off first, Peter?
Sure, yeah. My name is Peter. I'm the sales manager here at Bullite.
I'm Tony. I'm basically the U.S. director over here in Bullite. I know this sounds like big titles, but it's really not. I mean, realistically, two of us and our other partner Chester, we were the guys that launched Bullite in North America. We work with Frank directly, which is the owner and CEO of Bullite, and basically, yeah, it was back in 2020.
Yep,
yeah.
2020 when we first launched.
Yeah, and that time I think we were still in lockdown pandemic, and we wanted to showcase the product. We wanted to get some attention, and I think we launched our first digital trade show that winter.
Yep, it was purely online. Everything was on lockdown at that time. It was very interesting.
So yeah, that's pretty much what we do here. It's our fourth year in business right now.
Yep. So Bullite is a relatively new brand, new company. We like to see ourselves as the underdogs, the new kids on the block. But we also have over 3 decades of manufacturing experience. So our parent company has been doing a lot of manufacturing OEM. So we have a lot of experience on that part. So we took some of that experience and rolled it out onto Bullite.
Yep.
So with you guys and your parent company being into manufacturing for 30 years, what took you guys into the off-road space specifically?
Yeah, so I think we had a unique product, and we saw that the product was underserved with this kind of technology that we had developed within our factory and manufacturing process. Our parent company, which have decades of manufacturing experience, they manufacture for guys like Can-Am, as CF Motor and John Deere as well too. And we had kind of understanding of the market, what was missing, and how do we kind of offer a much more premium product at a much more affordable price, direct from factory, basically.
Yeah, what we started noticing was almost everything on the market, like majority of it was all one-piece cast, and we came in with a fresh perspective. How can we do it better? A lot of these rims aren't made for performance racing. How do we create a performance race wheel that's built to last, that's durable, that can take the impact and take the beating? So that's what we came to the table with that perspective.
Was that 2021 was our 2022 was our first King of the Hammers.
Yep.
And that was the testing ground for a lot of our products. We took the products out there with some of our racers and really just beat it up and collect some feedback and understand what could we do better. And it was really the community. I think it was the community that really kind of tried our product, gave us a chance, and really tested out and then became the voice of our company, really, right?
Definitely. It's definitely the guys at home that's supporting, that taking it out all over the weekends, beating it up, putting it through the ringer, giving us the feedback. That way we could take that and make a better product.
I tried my best to explain what makes you guys different, but maybe you guys can help me out. What makes you different from everybody else?
What makes us different? Everyone's doing one-piece cast, meaning they take a mold. Casting has two different methods. You do a gravity pour, you just pretty much pour molten aluminum and let it settle across the mold, or you have a low temperature cast. Most people are doing a one-piece cast, meaning they're pumping the molten aluminum throughout the whole mold. Problem with that, you're introducing pressure, you're getting oxygen in the metal, you get a real brittle, porous metal. So upon impact, metal just breaks. Matter of fact, I actually have something here I can demonstrate. Give me 1 second.
Well, while Peter's getting that, so I can kind of explain. So ours is a roll form. Okay, good. He has two pieces. We're demonstrating these in SEMA, right?
Yep. Just with these pieces. So these are actually cross-cut sections of rims. So this one here is a one-piece cast, something you typically get on the market. So we'll simulate an impact test. So
you hit a rock, hit something, especially when you're on low PSI, you get broken barrels, broken disc as well too. This is what the roll form.
Yeah, so this is Bullites here. So you can see this is our inner lip. We have a full roll lip. This is actually hollow. We'll go over that later, but we'll simulate the impact test now. So you take one impact, take another impact. Now your vehicle's rolling.
So the idea is it's gonna break eventually, but the idea was making a product so we can at least get our drivers back to pit, so they can swap that rim out, swap that tire out, whatever it may be, and then continue on so they can be out on the field again, be out on the racetracks again.
Yep. So yeah, we start off with a 54H aluminum, very good high quality grade raw aluminum. It's a flat sheet of aluminum. We roll form the barrel. For the disc, what we do is we do a low pressure casting, or we have a full forged disc now. And the two pieces we friction stir weld it together. For those that's not familiar with friction stir welding, it's a solid state welding process. So it's a fusion weld, similar to what they use on the spaceships at SpaceX. So it's a friction stir welding. No one else is doing this in the industry now because it's such a hard method to perfect. So we take a roll form barrel with the forged disc or a low pressure cast disc, and we friction stir weld it together. What makes our cast different is that we use a heat treated 3000 series aluminum for our disc, and we only cast the disc, so we're not pushing all that molten aluminum throughout the entire mold. You're only pushing it through the footprint of the disc, so there's very less pressure and oxygen introduced, so you get a more stronger, more durable disc.
And then we, on top of that, we reinforced the barrel. We added ribbings. We call it our rib technology, which is short for reinforced barrel, and that structure alone kind of prevents the barrel from collapsing and kind of give it that extra reinforcement. that our driver needs, especially when they're doing full stands.
On top of that, we also have the helicoil. So if you look at where the beadlock bolts bolt onto, there's actually steel inserts there. So when you're bolting your steel bolts onto the beadlock ring, you're bolting into steel helicoils instead of bolting steel onto aluminum rim, which tends to strip over time when you're changing out those tires and torquing them down. So, you know, the helicoil makes the rim serviceable. So you have a lot of longevity, and these rims are really built to last.
Oh, you guys definitely do a much better job than I did explaining it. There's a lot that goes into the product that you're creating. So that makes me ask a much simpler question. If you could only pick one Bullite rim, which would it be?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
How about you, Tony?
I think I would have to go with the blade. I really like the design of the blade. That combination of the painted and the polish, and just the design itself, it looks so aggressive. How about you?
For me, it's tough. I love the blade. You know, it's that CNC and the way the light hits is just amazing. But for me, I think my favorite would be the Pro Series. I'm very much a tech guy. Just, you know, all the features on it, that rib technology, that forged disc, it's indestructible. We've ran that through 20 miles of rock pits at King of the Hammers. Came back in one piece. I think
that's that behind
really,
us right
yeah,
here.
That
one right
so
there.
we ran that rim through 20
one.
miles of rock pit, and it came back, I mean,
square.
Out around,
square,
but it didn't explode. He was able to get back to, Zach was able to get back to pit. We changed out that tire, and he actually, you know, finished the race. He crossed the finish line. Any other rim, he might have just been stuck there and had to walk back to pit to carry a spare, because I think he ran the entire race without a spare just to make a statement, and the statement was made, I think.
Well, Kyle, how about you? What's your favorite design?
I'd have to say 100% my favorite design is, and I have them both now. It's the Rider, which I have on the Maverick Sport, and the recent set that you guys sent me, the Berserkers. Those are going to go on a future project we're going to see after this video. So I already have my two favorites visually, but some of the technology you guys are putting into the other rims, I would definitely look at, just because I love nerding out on that kind of stuff. It's pretty sick.
Berserker, yeah, I think. The Berserker is actually
one of the more popular models within our customers and our fans as well too. It's one of the guys. I mean, one of the most rocked rims. I mean, everyone's kind of sporting that one.
Yep, you see it all over the place. What about you guys at home? Which one is your favorite rim? Drop a comment in the comment section below. Let us know. We would love to hear from you guys as well.
So I would imagine when you guys are manufacturing, you could end up, it's like a slippery slope with offsets and different bolt patterns and widths, overall size. There's so many things that you could run into. What can you tell me about sizes that you have, bolt patterns that you have, offsets that you have, and are looking into?
Well, currently carry 4x156, 4x137s, the Polaris Can-Ams.
The 5x114.3. We're also releasing the 6x139.7.
That's for the Maverick R's, right? The new ones.
The Pro R's and the Maverick R's. The 5 luggers, 6 luggers. Hopefully, don't get no 7 and 8 luggers going on to the future, because you know it's gonna make it very.
and I think next year we're gonna have some of the 4x110s for the CF Moto guys, some of the Honda guys as well too, with different offsets. Speaking
of the 4x110, those are going to be in 4+3. I know currently most of all of our rims are 5+2, but we're going to have some 4+3. Definitely for the 4x110s, I know you guys need it a little bit wider for those Hondas. So we'll definitely have that coming out. We'll also have the 5+5, right? Tell them a little about that.
Yep, we're going to have the 5+5 basically for some of the sand, the dune guys. You know, they've been asking for it. We've been at the show. They've been asking for wider kind of rims. So we're going to be introducing the 5+5. That's something we're working on. So stay tuned. We're going to have a whole new design for that, and we'll kind of share and showcase some of that.
Yeah, all you sand guys, I know you guys been asking for a sand set. So this one's specifically designed for you guys. I know you guys like those show pieces out in the sand, you know, the high gloss chrome and all that different layer on the rim. So this one's gonna be a real showpiece, and we designed it specifically for the sand guys. So you know, this one's for you guys. Stay tuned. It's gonna be exciting. I guarantee you guys are gonna love the design. We worked on it personally on the design. We love it. It's gonna be amazing. A piece of art.
Yeah. Oh, and for the Maverick R's, yeah. So the Maverick R's, we're gonna probably be doing a 6+1 as well on that one to kind of keep it with the stock stance. I know some of the guys were already telling us that Maverick R's are a little bit much more wider, and having a 5+2 could, be a problem out on the trails. They like to kind of have it a lot more narrow. So do be on the lookout for the 6+1 as well on those Maverick R's.
Yep, 6+1. 5+2, the 4+3s, and then the 5+5s. That's coming soon.
Yeah, so we're trying to fill that whole portfolio, having different offsets and different sizes and stuff for you guys.
Seeing you guys up here in Minden last time was awesome. When do you guys think you're going to come back to Canada? I'm sure you guys are busy, but yeah, we should get out and ride.
Well, for definitely next year, we do have some plans, right, Peter?
Yep. I know they got the Lyndhurst event coming up. I know they got the Petersboro Power Sports event coming up as well.
This year we did the Toronto Sportsman Show. We might do that again next year as well, and that's around in March timeframe, I believe. Yep. So and then well, pretty much we're waiting for it to thaw out up there. So as soon as it kind of defrost, we'll probably make our way up there, maybe just to hang out, even join you guys for a ride, even if it's not any shows or stuff.
Yeah, maybe we do another Minden off-road ride, I think that'd be pretty cool.
That would be a pretty cool one. Well, how about you? When are you gonna come down here to California and visit us?
Funny enough, California, I was there not too long ago. You'd be hard pressed to get me to go there for any other reason than like to maybe hang out with you guys or do some off-roading. I did some time in LA and San Francisco and that kind of thing. It wasn't exactly my vibe, but I know the off-road scene is super strong there, especially out in the desert. I think it would be really interesting because I have like zero experience in sand dunes and stuff. So that's definitely on my bucket list. I don't think it would be a crazy idea, but we should definitely get together down there sometime too.
We'll take you out to Glamis. We'll go right out in the dunes, in the sands.
We have Glamis, we have Pismo. Hey, maybe even next year we'll have you come out to SEMA with us.
Yeah, SEMA would have been really cool. I really couldn't fit it into my schedule with everything going on, but the house renovations are done, as I like to say. So definitely got more room in the schedule for stuff like that.
We got King of the Hammers coming up January. We'll be out in Johnson Valley with ECC Racing. Tony Polari, Tyler Gibbs, Peyton Dumford. Am I missing anyone?
I think we cover most of it.
I know. Calculated Risk Team. I know they're going to be running it this year.
The desert. Yep, the desert run. They're going to be doing that. The desert race. Yeah, that's happening in January. Just a month from now.
Yeah, so you got time coming out, hang out with us. You're more than welcome. We'll have a base camp there. We'll be capturing some footage and everything, capturing all the excitement. Any of you guys at home watching, you guys are going to be out there. Hit us up. Let us know. We'll love to meet you. We'll let you know where our base camp is at. Stop on by, say hello to the team.
Yeah, right on, guys. I appreciate the time answering the questions. You guys did a much better job, and I knew you would on your own product, of course. I touched on a few details, but what you guys are doing is pretty cool, and I'm glad to be able to highlight it. So thanks for your time. We'll talk soon.
Yeah. Well, hey, Kyle, this has been a great phone conversation. We look forward to hang out again. Let us know when we can do this again the next time.
Definitely, Kyle. Thank you so much. Go out there, beat up those rims. Let us know. Give us some feedback. We're looking forward to it.
So there you have it, folks. Hopefully that was insightful. Maybe you learned something. Got to check out something cool, a little bit of insider knowledge. Tony and Peter, thanks again for the chat. I appreciate that so much. And thanks again for sending out these wheels. We are going to put them to use on a future build, which I haven't released yet, but you should see soon. We're going to make sure they're all dinged up and dented, and we'll send some evidence of how they work. I've already got them on the Maverick, had them for a while, and they've been doing great. A lot of the other ambassadors like Snowman, Snowgirl, all of them, they've been abusing these things and they've done great. So I'm really excited to be working with them. If you want more of these types of videos where we kind of deep dive into the product themselves, let me know. But what we're going to do now is kind of carry on and get ready for a ride that I have going on. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe, help me out with the algorithm. If you want to support us directly, we have a membership program that you can see below the video. There's a little join button. You can have a look at that. And that directly supports us here as creators. Every single dollar from that goes straight into the channel and nothing else, so I can make this a little more entertaining for you guys. So thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time.